So, a very good afternoon to all of you. I welcome you to the I welcome you to the travel series Break Free, which we started in October 2020, and we have done quite a lot of sessions since then. And Himalayas has been our particular favorite, as to say, and we have had quite a few sessions on the Himalayas. Last week also we had a session by squadron leader Kulika Rani, who has climbed Mount Everest. Like she is the first woman from Uttar Pradesh to do so. An adventure company by the name of Mountain Knights. So over to you, Shahid.
Thank you very much, sir. First of all, let me know if I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being present over here. And I think I don't need much to talk about myself. Most of the things have been introduced by Mr. Vivek. But to begin with, I would like to start my talk with sharing my presentation with you. And down the line, we'll proceed ahead. Can we see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
All right. So, like Mr. Vivek said, my name is Shahid, and whatever he mentioned about me, that's all it's all about. Now, before starting this presentation, I would like to tell you that whatever I have done in my life so far, it's nothing out of the world. There have been people, those who have achieved much more than I have. But yes, I do acknowledge and recognize the fact that whatever I have done so far, it's not some commoner thing. Even very few have been able to do so. But that's all it is all about. Now, the purpose of this talk is to share with you whatever I have learned in my journey of mountaineering so far with respect to leadership. Now, leadership is one such topic, according to me, which is very important in today's life. If there is something missing in our lives today is leadership. I mean, we have all sort of leaders, but we need good leaders. Now, there are a lot of qualities of a leader, right? Everybody would have their own theory and own understanding of a leader. But ultimately, according to me, what leadership is and what a leader should be like, as per my experience and my understanding, this is what I will talk about throughout my journey from the Western Himalayas to Eastern Himalaya, right? So, my leadership lessons primarily, to quite a large extent, come from my mountaineering journey. But leadership is one such thing that is not just confined to one profession or one aspect. It is a part of every aspect of our life, right? If we have a leader in ourselves, we will be leaders in every aspect of our life. And like the saying goes, leaders create leaders. And that is very, very important. So this is all my talk will revolve around. Now, proceeding ahead, my mountaineering journey started in 2013. Before that, I was working with IBM. I mean, I had a very comfortable job. Comfortable in the sense I could get a lot of money in terms of the scenario at that time, good packages, right? From the college pass out, I got into that particular profession, into IT, into IBM. But something was missing for me, and that was challenges, the quest for leadership. And I was unsatisfied due to various personal reasons. And I wanted something that could satisfy me. Now, my attention got towards mountaineering. The mountaineering was one such thing which provided me physical challenges, mental challenges, and various other things, primarily amongst them being leadership, right? Platform for me to showcase my leadership qualities, not to the world, but for myself. It all started in 2013 with my basic mountaineering course in 2013 from Atal Bihari Vajpayee Institute of Mountaineering and Allied Sports, which is in Manali. Thereafter, it went to advanced mountaineering course in 2014, then search and rescue course, then instructor course, method of instruction, various other course. One of them primarily, major one being IMF medical expedition. So these are all the courses that I did before, active becoming a mountaineering instructor and going further in my mountaineering career. So during this process, I climbed various peaks, right, of varying altitude and various difficulties. So in short, nut and shell, it was 13 to 14 peaks that I climbed Most of them have been from, the first peak was Stoke Kangdi, which is in Janskar range. And thereafter, I kept climbing, and my climbs took me across the length and breadth of Himalaya. That's why I named this particular topic of today's talk as Western Himalayas to Eastern Himalaya. As a mountaineering instructor, I had the opportunity to train in all the prominent mountaineering institutes of the country, starting from Atal Bihari Vajpayee Institute, the same institute from where I started my mountaineering course, where I was a trainee first. Then I became instructor over the same in the same institute. Then I had opportunity to train in Himalayan Mountaineering Institute, where I trained people in basic mountaineering course, advanced mountaineering course. Then in National Institute of Mountaineering and Allied Sports, which is in Arunachal Pradesh. Over there also I had an opportunity to train people in various courses, which included adventure courses, search and rescue courses, basic mountaineering course. And then finally, till date, I have been working with Nehru Institute of Mountaineering as a freelance instructor. And I trained people in similar courses like basic mountaineering course, search and rescue course. Now, search and rescue is one such course, which is the last training course, and which is the combination of all the mountaineering courses that we have done so far. So this is what I have trained people in from various backgrounds of various ages, be it civil background from the armed forces background itself. Now, the question might arise why I choose to become an instructor. My courses have been done. A lot of people continue with the mountaineering, but very few people choose to become instructor. Like I said in the beginning, if you feel that you have a leader in you, you will most likely like to create leader. You will like to give it back to the society. You will like to encourage people, and strengthen people. But you are yourself, probably you will like to do the same for others. This is the basic human psychology. As an instructor, it was opportunity for me to continue my learning so far, whatever I had learned, because the best way to learn is when you teach. Next is to continue teaching, like I said, right, and help create leaders. This was the most important reason for me. For me, what I felt, what I realized during my mountaineering courses and mountaineering expeditions as a trainee, as a mountaineer, as an instructor so far, strengthened me to quite a large extent. It brought the best out of me, and I wanted to get in touch with similar kind of people and be a part of those people who would stand amongst those people who bring out the best amongst others. Like I said, leaders would always like to create leaders. Now let's talk about the leadership lessons from mountaineering, right, so far. So some of the mountaineering lessons that I would like to share with you are as follows. Number one is that you have to, just a minute. Okay, you have to prove it on ground, right? Primarily to yourself. Now, before I started mountaineering, I knew there is something in me. I can prove it to myself. I wasn't satisfied with the desk job, but just knowing that you are capable of executing and achieving difficult things is not sufficient. You have to get on the ground and prove it to yourself. Otherwise, it just merely become psychological or philosophical thing. Just a small request. I would like everybody to please mute their microphones. All right. Like I said, just knowing is not sufficient. You have to prove it on ground, right? So as a result of which, just to stick to this particular rule, I started my mountaineering journey. I left my job. I went to the Atal Bihari Vajpayee Institute of Mountaineering, went through the rigorous mountaineering course, achieved whatever I had to achieve to full of my satisfaction. Now that was the part of my life which affirmed my faith in this particular thing, that you have to get on ground and you have to prove it. Not necessarily to the world, but at least for yourself. Because once you prove it to yourself, the amount of confidence you develop is like beyond measures. And if you have a paramount amount of confidence, the life becomes something else. If you lack confidence, probably life is, I don't know how life would be without confidence. And life in confidence does not comes easily. It just comes when you prove certain things on ground, when you go through hardships, when you lead from the front, you become part of the grueling and you come out of it. This is my experience, and this is how I would stick to. Now, next is 2014. I started my advanced course. Once I had done with my basic course in 2013, next was my advanced course in 2014. Over there, the very important lesson that I learned was step up when no one does. Now, I would like to share a small instance with you. We were already done with our advanced mountaineering course. Now, by the end of the course, we had to climb Mount Golab Kangri, which is in Ladakh, right? This was my first expedition in Zanskar range. One team was sent to Stock Kangri and another team was sent to Golab Kangri. I was part of the Golab Kangri team, and I was still looking for opportunities to prove myself in a better way, right? Now, it so happened that when we all were done with our entire training, now it was time for us to scale a mountain, reach the mountain top. That was Golab Kangri and Stoke Kangri, I being on the Golab Kangri. It so happened that a couple of people were doing well, and many people were, lagging behind. They were on the verge of giving up. Now, this was a time where my instructor, who was from the army, if you can see the person in the pic below, he's my instructor. He's still serving in the armed forces. He he showed his faith in me, and he gave me the responsibility of taking those couple of chaps till the summit. Now, that was such condition where you are barely able to take care of yourself, right? Once in a high altitude, there are a lot of problems and a lot of challenges one goes through, and one of them is taking care of yourself. Now, most of the people were somehow struggling to reach the summit. A couple of them were unable to reach the summit. They were just lagging behind. Now, I was given the task to take them to the summit. Now, I took this an opportunity to prove it to myself once again. And then I took hold of those couple of chaps, and I, along with them, ensured that we all reached summit. Now, once we hit the summit, we unfurled the tricolor flag. It was time for us to return back. Reaching summit is one thing, and returning is second thing. It is said that returning from the summit is very, very difficult, right? Ascending is definitely difficult, but descending is much more difficult because you're already exhausted. A lot of accidents happen during the descents, and especially when you are a novice, you're a newcomer, and you are fully full of josh and excitement. So I not only took those couple of help those chaps to reach the summit, but also ensured that I bring them back along with me. When all this thing was done, I mean, I realized how important it is to step up when nobody does. Because in difficult times, everybody is looking for saving their own lives, looking for just achieving their goals and not caring about others. This is very human, basic human nature. Now, only few people step up, and few people not only take responsibility of themselves but also take the responsibilities of other. Now, that was something that I did over there. Now, I'm not boasting about myself, singing my own praises, but this is something very important, right? Now, the amount of happiness that I saw on the face of those chaps whom I helped reach the summit and who I'm sure they come back with me to the base camp was beyond comparison, right? Next, in 2015, I went to my basic course was done, advanced course was done. I applied as a liaison officer with the Indian Mountain Foundation, and I was given an opportunity to climb Mount Nun with a team of climbers from Poland. Now, it was an expedition towards Mount Nun, but before going to Mount Nun, we decided to scale Mount Stoke Kangri for the purpose of acclimatization. So we, in short, that particular expedition, right? Now, it so happened that once the summit was achieved in Mount Stoke Kangri, we proceeded towards Mount Nun. Now, over there, what happened that entire expedition went good, and the porters, those who were supposed to get us from the nearest village, that is Tangul village, they arrived at the base camp one day before. They were supposed to arrive one day after, but they arrived one day before. Okay, I don't know what was the miscommunication that happened, but they arrived one day before. Now, it is a tendency that once they have arrived at the base camp, they were expecting the entire team to provide their luggage and wind up the entire base camp and return back. But this was not possible because two of our climbers were still yet to arrive. Right, the peak was submitted. Some of us have arrived back to the base camp, and many of two members were still at Camp 1 of Mount Noon. So now it was a complete chaos situation over there, and the biggest part was that I didn't knew their Ladakhi language, and now they were some of them were aggressive, some of them were quiet, some of them were upset. Now I had to maintain the decorum and situation. So in that particular situation, all I did was I had a word with those porters. I somehow convinced them and ensured that they will not return empty hands from the base camp, because it is such that every porter get some load and is paid to get some load. So it's a kind of livelihood for them, right? So returning empty hand was not an option for them, and they were adamant on returning the same day. But our two of the members had not yet arrived. So it was quite difficult for us to convince them, but it was done in a systematic way. So I just had a word with them and I ensured them the shelter. The main problem was shelter. They had no place to stay. So if they had to stay in the base camp, the primary question was food and shelter. So we arranged the same for them. We arranged the accommodation for them in our mess tent where we used to have our meals. Over there, they were made to stay. Our food was given to them, shared amongst them, so that they remain warm and they have something to eat. The following day, when two of our climbers came down, they realized the situation and they had planned to rest one more day in the base camp because they were quite exhausted. It was almost 1 month long expedition. But looking at the situation, they saw that the porters have already arrived and it's already 1 day since they have been kept over here. So the entire base camp was managed, rolled up, and the loads were distributed, and the porters were given the load. They were made satisfied, and we all descended. So from there, I learned that sometimes you have to maintain your command because you got to get the job done. But just being command is not important. You have to show compassion because these were people who were not from very financial rich background. Their livelihood depended upon the load which they carried. So as a result of which I understood the situation, but as they were not cooperating, it was difficult for me to manage the situation. So I had to maintain the balance between command and compassion, and it really worked. And then when I realized back, then I understood how important it is to maintain your command as well as compassion at the same time. Only then people listen to you and they will have faith in you. First, you got to understand that people have problems, right? You got to understand their problem. Then you got to tell them the solution to their problem. Then they will definitely listen to you. All right. Next come 2016. I was again part of an expedition to Mount Noon in the same region, but now it was not Mount Noon, it was Mount Kun. Kun means king in Ladakhi and Nun means queen. So this time it was Mount Kun. It so happened I was again liaison officer with a team of mountaineers from America. Now the drawback of this expedition was that we got short of logistic supplies, right? Ultimately the Mount Kun peak could not be scaled by me because only it was room for two people. There was some mismanagement from administrative side with respect to the logistics, equipment, tents, and all. So now that time, it so happened that I was quite frustrated and I was quite disappointed. After 1 year, I'm getting chance to climb another peak and I'm not able to go towards the Mount Kun further. So what do I do now? Then I realized there are a couple of peaks towards in the vicinity of base camp of Mount Kun. And then I decided that whatever equipment I have, I will climb those peaks solo. And while those two climbers continued to climb ahead, I took this as an opportunity to scale two peaks solo, right? And I did those peaks solo myself with a limited equipment and limited supplies. Now, what I want to tell you from this particular event is that there is always some good in something bad. Whenever something bad happens, your plans fail. Don't take it as a failure. Try to find that there is some opportunity waiting in the middle of that particular bad. So if you have that attitude, definitely something will work out, and then you will not consider it as a failure. You will definitely see whatever happened for something good, provided you had that zeal and mindset to bring out something good from the bad that existed at that particular point of time. All right, when it was done, now it was time for me to climb Mount Satopant in 2017 as a part of Indian Mountaineering Foundation medical expedition to Mount Satopant. Over there, a lot of events happened. Mountaineering itself is an entire very challenging task. I cannot, tell all the events, but I'm telling you the main things that I still remember from every expedition. So it so happened that Mount Satopant, which is in Gangotri region of Uttarakhand, is very famous for something that is known as the knife ridge. If you see in this particular video, towards the summit, just beyond the clouds, there is a ridge. It's very sharp. It is so sharp that you cannot stand over here with 2 feet, adjacent. It is so sharp. And if you lose balance, you are straight away 1,000 meters towards right or 1,000 meters towards left, down. Now, it so happened that we were already on the summit camp and we left for summit in the midnight, right? And like I said, if you are really a person of sense of responsibility, you will always be responsible not only for yourself, but you will always be prepared for any adverse event that happens around you, right? Now, I was carrying two headlamps with spare batteries, and one headlamp was attached to my helmet, and another one was kept as a spare in my rucksack's hood. It so happened that one of my climbing buddy who was just behind me, his headlamp's battery discharged right on this particular ridge, and we were not in a position where we could stand over here, halt over here, or rest. We had to move continuously because it was the most exposed region of this entire summit. Now, in this situation, if somebody's headlamp goes off, and in that altitude, above 6,000 meters plus, in the night, he is standing on a knife ridge, one can barely imagine what is the condition over there. He says to me from behind, Ki shayad my headlamp got finished, got discharged. What do I do now? I immediately told him, Ki, do not panic, stand wherever you are, extend your hand, pull out a spare headlamp from my rucksack, and hand it over to me. And I gave my headlamp, which was in a better condition, to him. And I myself attached poor qualities headlamp. Now, I gave him that particular headlamp because I told him, you are walking behind me, you are climbing behind me. So make sure you walk in a way that you are not only able to see your path, but that particular light of your headlamp, which is of better quality, right? That light assists me also. And in addition to that, I will have my own headlamp, which will add to the more light. So somehow this entire route got traversed. We reached the summit by next morning, and we returned back safely. Now, this is the very important lesson that I once again realized. That is sense of responsibility. If you are really if you really have sense of responsibility, you will not only be prepared, but you will also be prepared for others, provided you are responsible, truly responsible, right? So these are some of the pictures from Mount Satupant, right? In the morning, we reached the summit and we unfurled our flags and we came back. The same year, in the same expedition, we also collected the garbage in that particular region. You can see the pile of garbage we collected from that altitude. Now, this garbage was deposited to the concerned authorities for recycling, and one of our member himself was he had his factory of recycling the garbage. Some of them was given to him, and other was deposited to the concerned authorities. Right. So we did this thing over there as a sense of responsibility, right? And I think everybody should be mindful of not spreading garbage anywhere, be it the mountains or be it in the streets. All right. The same year in 2017, by the month of September, I had an opportunity to be in another expedition, that is Mount Jogin, in the same region, that is Gangotri, right? Now, it so happened that I was with a team of climbers from Germany. And one very peculiarity about this particular expedition, that is Mount Jogin 1, was that it snowed a lot. Fine. Snowing at high altitude is definitely not a good sign. I mean, it might sound very fancy when you are in a civilized location to see the snow and think about snow. But once you are at high altitude, bad weather is your worst enemy. It is the first enemy. And we were subjected to bad weather for countless days. If you see the picture, this is a picture of a tent of BSF. Now, it so happened that we were independent expedition. And the same year, 2017, the team of Border Security Force were preparing for scaling Mount Everest the following year. It's a matter of coincidence that we met at this particular base camp, that is Mount Jogin 1's base camp in Kedartal, right? And we both the teams endured this bad weather. We got along with them quite well, and we managed the entire things, and the entire expedition was successful. If you can see something on your screen, there are certain numbers written. This used to be our daily weather report. And as per this weather report, the amount of snowfall was quite heavy. It was not a good situation for us to be in. But like, we became a good team, we joined our hands together, we helped each other, and we managed through these circumstances. Now, the very important lesson that I learned, I would say not lesson, it was once again a reminder that I would like to share with others, that never become a boss, right? Always, once you're in a team, act like a team, right? If you think you have a leadership quality in you, there could be other people who have the same qualities, right? Becoming a boss will never help anything. Once you're part of the team, everything will proceed accordingly and the way it should be. So we submitted this entire, we went through this all entire bad weather. We helped each other. We got along with each other, and we submitted this particular peak. We had only 4 days of window to submit Mount Jogin 1. We spent over there almost 20-25 days, and we kept struggling with the bad weather for 20 to 25 days. Only when we could realize that now we have only 5 last days remaining before we really wind up the camp and proceed back to our civilized location. We did our best. We pushed really hard, and within 3 to 4 days, we shifted our camps back to back from camp 1 to camp 2 to camp 3, and then finally we scaled this summit. Right? Generally, it takes around 1 week or more than a week to reach the summit of this particular peak, but we, as we became a team, we did it in just 4 days. Right? And this is the picture of the BSF members as well as German team. We together scaled Mount Jogin 1, and we organized a small party at that particular altitude, just as act of remembrance and out of gentleman's spirit, that how we went through all those bad times, and together we did something quite memorable for us. Right now, same thing. And after this was done, I had already completed all my courses. Now it was 2018 when I got an opportunity to join a mountaineering institute as an instructor. Now in 2018, I started working as an instructor with Atal Bihari Vajpayee Institute of Mountaineering and Allied Sports. Now one very important reminder, uh, or let's say a lesson that I would like to share with everybody, is stay prepared for everything. Right? Now when I went as an instructor over there, rather than passing orders, yelling at people, my behavior used to be something like this, that I always used to be part of the trainees. If they used to run, I used to run. If they used to do push-ups, I used to do push-ups. If they used to stand, I used to stand. I used to be prepared not only for myself, but I used to be prepared for everybody. If I expect others to do something, I used to be the first person. I would like to be the first person to do the same, become what I expect from others. Now, because of this attitude, it so happened that the institute organized an expedition to Mount Lady of Kelong, right, which is in the Kelong region, and a lot of the people were selected to be part of that expedition, and the team comprised of all the experienced instructors. Probably, I was only the one instructor who was a newcomer, and it had been only 2 months in that institute for me. But I think I was selected because of my attitude, that is, stay prepared for everything. I knew there could be any opportunity, anytime. There could be any requirement of me as an instructor, and I should be ready physically as well as mentally for any short notice task. Right. This expedition was organized. I was selected, and we scaled this entire peak accordingly. Now, the same year, 2018, I shifted to Himalayan Mountaineering Institute, which is in Darjeeling, HMI. Over there, I trained people in basic mountaineering course and advanced mountaineering course. Now, in advanced mountaineering course, we had to submit a higher peak, unlike height gain, which happens in basic mountaineering course. So we submitted this peak called as Mount BC Roy. Now, one very important event that I remember, that if we want our trainees or if we want our subordinates or anybody to perform, right, you got to lead from front, and as a result of which they will definitely follow you. Now, if I wanted my trainees to perform and reach the summit, rather than instead of showing any sign of weakness, I will have to show them how to do it. I will have to lead them. Once I do it, it will inspire confidence in them. And once that confidence is inspired, they will definitely start acting accordingly and as per the expectations. So we submitted this peak accordingly. This is one of my trainee from Indian Navy. He's a Marine Commando, and along with other trainees, we scaled this peak up to our full satisfaction, and then we returned back safely. So in that particular event, I realized how important it is to lead from front. Next is stay firm and get the job done. All right. This is very important lesson that I have learned from a mountaineering instructor's career. Most of the time it so happened that the following year, that is 2019, I was part of Everest selection camp organized by Indian Mountaineering Foundation. In this selection camp, there were a lot of people selected. I think according to me, officially, it would be the best mountaineers of the country selected, and those who have applied, right? So one team was sent to Johar Institute of Mountaineering, the another was sent to Nehru Institute of Mountaineering to go through selection procedure, stage one selection procedure. Now I was a part of the team who was in Nehru Institute of Mountaineering for the selection procedure. Now in that team, I was made as a course senior, right? I was made the course leader, and there were a lot of responsibilities that I had in terms of coordination, in terms of getting the task done, in terms of passing the information, and whatever responsibilities one could imagine of as a leader of a particular team. Now, people have different temperaments and different attitudes, right? Most of them do not want to listen. Most of them do not want to take instructions. Most of them want to do things on their own. But if I am a leader, if I am given a task, my responsibility is not to please people. My primary responsibility is to get the job done, right? As a result of which, I stayed quite firm with them, and most of them were unhappy with me. Most of them were happy, but those who were unhappy with me because of my disciplinary attitude makes no difference. Ultimately, the task that was allotted to me, that was passed down, and I made them do what they were required to do, and that was more important to me. Earning praises every time is not important. What you feel is important, that should be done, whether somebody likes it or not. That is very, very important lesson that I learned, and this is a lesson I would like to share with you from that particular event. Right. Next is stay strong and inspire strength. Now, after this selection process was done, I was selected for the second stage of selection process, that was to scale the peak and be a part of expedition to Mount Trishul in 2019. Right. So now those who were selected from Johar Institute and those who were selected from Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, they were clubbed together and they were part of an expedition to Mount Trishul. Right. Now over there, it so happened the expedition went accordingly. A lot of challenges, a lot of ups and downs, and things went the way things go in the mountaineering. It so happened that we were on the ice wall. I don't have the picture of that particular ice wall because there was nobody to click photo at that particular crucial life and death situation. Now we had to climb almost 7 to 800 meters of ice wall. Right. Now while I was climbing, it's a matter of coincidence. The same partner who was with me in Mount Satopant behind me, he was once again behind me in this particular expedition. That is Mount Trishul. And while I was just negotiating or traversing the ice wall, he once again got into some trouble. And I remember he simply said कि शायद हाथ पांव ठंडे हो रहे हैं. I'm not able to do it. And we were so exposed that anything goes wrong, we would have simply gone once again, fallen down 1,000 meters. Right? We were so exposed. It so happened, and it so happened that the moment I got to know he is in some sort of trouble, I simply gave him one instruction. I simply passed on one information to him. Right? I said it very firmly. I said, forget your pain. Right? Just focus on climbing. It's just a matter of 10 minutes. We negotiated. We are on the safer zone. Then when I came back, I recalled that entire stage. Of course, when I said these things, he forgot his pain. He forgot that his hands are getting frozen. His feet are getting frozen. He's losing strength. And once I said those things, forget your pain, just do it. He negotiated it along with others, along with me, and we reached the summit camp. And we again, sooner or later, we hit the summit camp. And we returned back. Now, what I learned from this particular event is how important it is to inspire strength. But to be able to inspire strength, you got to have strength yourself. And if you're really a person of strength, like I said, if you're really a person of strength and responsibility, you will do the same, right? Rather than entertaining somebody's excuses, somebody's weakness, do not give sympathy, right? You can show empathy, but after that, you got to strengthen them. This is very important thing according to me in life. Like I said, become what you expect. My overall learning from the mountaineering as a mountaineer and mountaineering instructor have been, if you expect excellence from somebody, try to reach excellence yourself first. Because once you do that, you will be able to become a role model for your subordinates, your trainees, and even for people, those who have got nothing to do with you. So that will happen only when you become what you expect from others. And this is not easy to do. You got to set very high standards for yourself, and you got to be very disciplined and dedicated. Just commitment is not important. According to me, you got to have conviction. There is a lot of difference between commitment and conviction. I prefer you got to have conviction, right? So this is all it had been so far. And down the line, following the same principles, I started a company, sole proprietorship company by the name of the Mountain Knights. The aim of this company, the Mountain Knight, was to train people in leadership qualities. Now, how do you train people in leadership qualities? Of course, according to me, the best way was to train them in same things which I have been training people in mountaineering courses. So we conducted a couple of mountaineering workshops, outdoor workshops, in association with some of the very good organizations like Himalaya Institute of Culture and Heritage Studies. Some of my other friends, we conducted outdoor workshops, which included mapping, navigation, outdoor survival. And through that, I looked forward to inspire people and look forward to bring out the leadership qualities of people by teaching them certain things, by empowering them physically, mentally, by subjecting them to difficult circumstances so that they realize how it feels when you overcome difficult situations, mentally as well as physically. Now, according to me, the best way to feel confident about yourself and to make other people confident is to teach them things. Just giving them lectures, giving them sermons is, according to me, not going to do much. When people learn new things, when somebody mentors them, when they have the sense of satisfaction, yes, they did it, they feel really confident about themselves, and their attitude about themselves and towards other changes a lot in a positive way. In nutshell, I only realized, I would like to conclude with this thing, that a leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim is fulfilled, and people must say, yes, we did it ourselves. Now, if people say that, yes, we did it ourselves, then only you have the right to say, yes, you are a leader. Otherwise, so everybody comes forward and say, yo, we did this, it was because of us. But a true leader is something whose presence makes the other people say that, yes, we did it ourselves. Now, this is a quote by Lao Tzu, but very, very applicable, and I have experienced it many times. So with this, I would like to conclude my presentation and my talk, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Shahid. That was a very interesting presentation. For each slide, you had a very interesting story to tell. That's what I liked. And now it's over to the audience for their queries, questions, comments, feedback.
Thank you, sir.
They can unmute and ask their query.
Here I am.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for a very detailed and important talk that told us more about the people angle than just the climbing facts. And the people angle is actually true for everything in life. All situations where people are there, the inputs you give us about leadership and other things are all very valid. My question to you today is that what do you do when someone is totally unable to come forward? Is it empathy? It is how do you motivate them when they are totally unable to recognize that strength in themselves?
सबसे पहले वालेकुम अस्सलाम मैम. So in order to answer your question, see, this is something very, very important. Now, to be brief, if I was somebody who's required to motivate people, I would never give sympathy. I would give empathy. I would start from empathy. I would start from making them believe what good qualities they have. I remember in 2014, Mount Golab Kangdi, when I was taking a couple of steps forward, they were on the verge of collapsing and giving up. I still remember my first sentence to them was, why you have come here? You have come here to climb, right? If you go empty-handed from there, how would you feel? How would your wife feel? How would your children feel? Why are you not able to move forward? Because you don't want to move forward. You want to give up. Your hands are still intact. Your feet are still intact. You still have some food in your bag. If you can talk to me, if you can stand, that means you can still walk, right? If you want to go back, that is your choice. If you want to move forward, that is your choice. It might take little time, but you will be able to move. I am there to support you. So this is my way of, motivating people. I make them realize what they have, rather than focusing on negative. Focus on positive. make them believe they are still strong. Once that is successful, they will definitely act accordingly.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
We also have Sonali with us. Sonali, is it possible for you to unmute yourself and share your experience of working with Shahid as part of the Himalayan Institute of Cultural Studies, the programs, the joint programs that both of you have been doing?
Hi Vivek. I don't think Shahid mentioned he's a research fellow at the institute. He's handling the digital side of the institute. So he's helping us with developing the web page, and we'll be further on doing apps as well. And being a mountaineer and having a degree in computer applications, I think that's a very good combination in the sense that your skill set never kind of leaves you. You may follow whatever profession in the future, but always having your ammunition intact, it can come in handy anytime. So here specifically, he is working in two capacities. He's working as a collaborator with Mountain Knights and Himalayan Institute, where we teach courses together. And we just before the COVID second wave started again, we had done a course together, and it was really good. He's very focused, very hardworking. And of course, on the other side of it, he is a web developer and into computers. So that's his other side. So I see a lot of focus and sincerity in his work, which is really nice. And I've known him for 3 years now. And it's really nice working with him. Discipline and all these things really come in handy in life. And it's very, very important to be very regimental about things. So that's my experience with Shahid. He's a wonderful person.
Yeah, thanks, Sonali, and I must thank you for introducing us to Tulika and Shahid. We have had consecutive sessions with them, and the sessions.
And I saw you on my session today, and I did tell Samir later that you should direct all your friends to the ICF as well.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I love the session because you have so many interesting stories to tell for everything we can think of. So you're just a treasure box, or maybe an ocean of stories.
No, just a drop. You get such fascinating people on, and I'm just a conduit. And the fact that you could get Shahid and Tulika, they're such amazing people, both of them in their individual right. And to be able to speak with you and others who are wonderful on your group as well. So that's amazing. And of course, all of you should come to the Institute, and you should, do expeditions with Shahid, because he's really, even if you don't get, because we are at our age where we cannot enroll in mountaineering courses, there's an age limit. Shahid told me, I was very upset. So I said, Shahid, you can teach all the oldies, all of us who really want to, there should be no age limit for these things. So I'm sure Shahid will lead expeditions for those who are in our 40s.
Yeah, that leads me to my next question, because you mentioned the age thing.
Like I'm 67 almost. I also want to come.
So Shahid, what's the record for the oldest person who have climbed a peak with a decent height, and why do you insist on a age limit for your expeditions?
So sir, सबसे पहले तो see, according to me, there should be no age limit. I don't believe in that age limit thing. So age limits are just for the institutes for the administrative purpose. But with that also I disagree. But then ultimately it is not in my authority and power to neglect that. Now, like you asked, if I know somebody who has climbed at their older ages, there have been people. There have been many people. But right now I don't remember their name. But if you Google people you'll find there have been people those have even summited Everest. Those have summited very difficult peaks at their age above 60s. Right. So why I disagree with the age factor is that it's about the will. right? Even if at the age of 50, 60 or whatever, if you want to go ahead with something, I would not say it is not possible. The only thing is you will have to be practical enough. You will have to be capable of understanding the consequences and your physical state, right? The first job is mental state. If the will is existing, the thing is right. Now you need to focus next. That is your physical ability. Definitely, you need to train yourself accordingly. You got to see what is your capability of your body, and then start preparing accordingly. And yes, people have climbed difficult peaks. Right? People have even scaled Everest at their quite old ages. But then, like it is said, age is a number. That's true.
Yeah, thanks, Shahid. I agree. And Krista from Canada, like she has mentioned in the chat box that people who are into their 60s and 70s, like they have been climbing mountains. So, Krista, if it's possible to unmute and maybe share something.
Yes, sure. Yeah, so I grew up in the Rockies, and like the thing is, once people finish raising children and going to work all the time, then they can go hiking every day. And there's a lot of very, very fit 60, 70, even 80-year-old, sometime with, but it's getting fit, it's getting practice, and being, I think many of us can do it, especially now we know so much more about diet and staying fit. So yeah. Many people become more fit when they're able to stop working, I believe. I see this anyway.
Yeah, thanks, Krista. And we have Deepthi also from Sri Lanka. Deepthi, do you want to share something?
Actually, I'm sorry. I got confused about the time and I joined very late. So I missed the better part of the presentation. So I'm going to watch the recording. So thank you. I'm
Okay.
really sorry I missed it.
Yeah, okay, Deepthi, no problem. Shahid, I have a small request. I saw a short video that Sonali posted where like you were taking out some sounds of birds. So if it's possible for you to do it again, maybe we can
All
feel
right.
a bit of nature sitting inside our homes also.
Yeah. Actually, that day I remember we were on our day-to-day routine, and the trainees, those who were enrolled with us, they were given some task, and I, along with Sonali, were waiting for them to finish their task. And it so happened that Dr. Sonali's son Rudra, he was along with us, and it just clicked my mind to have a little bit of fun with him. So generally, I've seen I produce that sound. It is the sound of a bird, which is very common, especially during the springs. During the month of April and March and April. So, like you just asked, so I'll just make that sound. It is just like something like this. That's all right.
We have Mr. Murlidhar, who is a birder, so maybe we'll ask him whether it matches the bird sound. I know it's very good.
And we hear it now in Bhopal. They've started coming.
Yeah.
These are all very badmash koels, but the good ones will come soon.
Yes, this is the Asian coil.
Okay, sir. Yes, it is a coil. Yeah. Even in the mountains, we see it very frequently.
Yeah.
That's it.
It was a very nice talk.
Well
I
done.
enjoyed it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Murugrad, last time you had a question about web design. So do you want to put it now? If you are there.
In fact, last time itself, Shahid answered that question. So he suggested that we should explain the requirements to the web developer so that they would understand what to do, and that would be a worry not for the end user rather than for the developer. So yes.
Yeah.
But otherwise, this is a very the last 2 weeks, especially the last week Tulika's session and this week yours, are both inspiring because this is not simply about a journey or an expedition that you undertake, but sharing that along with the learnings, life learnings, that is very important. And a special salute for you, Tulika and Sonali, who introduced them to the ICF team. Thank you very
My
much.
gratitude, sir.
Divya, if you are there, any inputs, any comments?
Yeah, Shahid, I just wanted to check whether you felt insecure after leaving your full-time job. Right now, it might be interesting that you are enjoying and we are also enjoying your experiences. But at that particular moment, when you just decided that now
Yeah.
my journey is
See,
something else.
yeah. See, over there, I would like to mention another leadership qualities that is called as taking calculative risk, right? What I mean by calculative risk is you don't have to be reckless, just like Josh. I remember in 2013, I first thing was I calculated my age and how much time I have left in my life overall. So probably that time I realized, being a person from IT background, number one, IT and technology is something that will never drop, right? We are continuously proceeding towards the age of technology. So from career point of view, I don't need to worry much. What I need to worry much about is not money, that is time, which is running out. If I really want to do something in life, really want to prove something to myself that will make me a better person, better human being, I will have to focus on time, which is running out, right? And when I resigned and my friends left, accompanied me till ISBT. I used to be in Chandigarh. So they said, "Yeah, what is the package which you will get in mountaineering? How much will you earn?" Right? So it was a very funny question, and because they all were working in IT companies, and I said to them, "See, it is not about package. I don't think so. There is any package waiting for me, but I am very much sure that down the line I will figure out what package I can get from mountaineering also." As I continued, I earned money out of mountaineering. I have my own startup company, right? It's been now a couple of years. I'm associated with very worthy people. One of them is Dr. Sonali Gupta from her Himalayan Institute of Cultural Heritage Studies, and two more friends I'm associated with them. And just to, for the sake of answering the question of earning, yes, I am earning. Now, like you asked, how much secure, insecure I felt. I was insecure because of the time that was passing out. I wasn't insecure because of the package, because I can still opt and go for IT anytime. Even as a freelancer, right now, the world is going through the pandemic. I'm still developing websites. I'm still, deploying my IT skills along with other things. And my insecurity was with respect to time. I mean, time is money. If time goes, everything goes. Money is something which you will definitely be able to get sooner or later. Money matters a lot, aisa nahi hai, right? At this particular age you start realizing how important money is. But if you have money and if you haven't done things that could have boosted your morale, boosted your personality, and now you feel there is no time, then you will live with the regret, and that regret will haunt you and pinch you more. So that is how I decided in 2013. I made a very calculative decision, and now, when I started doing mountaineering, my goal was to do 10 peaks. I was very clear I will have to do 10 peaks. But down the line, I did more than 10. And I not only did 10 peaks, I also acted as an instructor. And out of my sincerity and hard work and my positive spirit, I founded my own company and I founded some worthy partners to work with. So that is all it has been about.
Yeah, thank you, Shahid.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Shahid. Divya is behind the promotional videos that we prepare for our series. And
Okay, sir.
Nirja is also there among the participants, although I don't think she'll be able to unmute herself. She prepares the posters.
Today I have my, I can, I can speak.
Okay, Nirja. First of all, I must thank all the volunteers who help us out with the show. So Nirja prepares the posters. Divya is behind the videos. Murugraj is our technical person. He prepares the registration link and hosts the show. And Jyotirmoy is the one who writes the emails. Today he seems to be missing. So yes, Nirja.
Thank you so much. First of all, I really enjoyed the trip, the journey you took us on, and there were certain things that I really liked. Like everybody, I think else was also commenting. The small lessons that you get, that how to be a team player and how to lead. And I remember years ago, I was told the same thing by somebody else. And how can I be a team leader if I myself don't know what my team members are supposed to do, or I think this was in a hotel management context where he said, if I don't know how to clean glasses myself, how can I tell my people to clean the glasses
Yeah.
and how clean they should be? And another thing I really liked was how you said the time, time and money. So I'm so happy to see that there are people like you who are doing so much. And yes, like you said, you live with regrets. And these are some of, at this age, at 47, 2 years back, I ran my half marathon. But yes, I wish to do more. And I wish I had done what you have, achieved in so young an age, with children and with house and being a mother. There comes there are many responsibilities.
Yeah.
And you start neglecting yourself and whatever you want to do. So more power to you, and I hope you achieve greater heights
Thank you.
and inspire people like us.
I look forward to it.
Is it a
Thank you,
pun?
thank you.
Is it a pun intended, Nirja?
Fun is always a greater heights, yes, and higher mountains, maybe, if there are any left. So yeah, and mountains are there in so many countries, no? So yeah, why restrict ourselves?
Thanks,
Yes.
Nirja.
Yes, Nirja, you don't need to restrict yourself. When Shahid asked that we should Google, I Googled, and there was an 80-year-old person who climbed Mount Everest in 2013. I just posted that news, although that record remained for a small time. So we have a lot of time still left.
Yes. And we should all, maybe the ICF community, maybe you can take us. You can take us along, Mr. Khan.
Sure.
Yes, Shahid, we can try. Some of ICF members can be on that journey with you once the things get fine.
Yeah.
So maybe easier summits first, and then
Even
we
if,
can
I would
raise
say,
the difficulty level.
yeah. Even if you do little bit small difficult things, it would add a lot. And this is what I would say. It is not necessary to do bigger things. Small things that are difficult to achieve, once achieved, they add a lot of confidence to your personality, and they refreshen you a lot. And it clarifies a lot of things in our routine life. This is very important. Be it a run, be it a marathon, be it an exercise, be it just a walk, right? These small efforts that we do, according to me, I mean, you are an elder to me, I must not be telling, but this is what I'm sharing, what I feel. The little bit efforts that we do, they add a lot.
Yes, thank you. That's
So
great.
we only become elder when we have experiences. People who don't have experiences are not elder. So we can respect you and you can respect us for whatever experiences we can all share.
Right.
And I'm coming.
Right.
Anytime you take a group, I'm coming. Even if I have to only give chocolates to everybody, I'm there.
Most welcome.
I think Shahid, what Kani's ma'am is saying, she's right. Because experiences may, like for example, you called us elder to you, but I feel experience-wise, achievement-wise, you're elder to us. I mean, you have achieved more than us, and you've done more than us.
Maybe in one context, ma'am, but there is like always much to learn from everybody. From your area of expertise, I have much more to learn. Right. That is a universal truth.
True. Absolutely true.
We all,
Lovely.
yeah. We also have Mr. Devanand Paul from Dhaka, Bangladesh. So, Mr. Paul, what are your comments?
So I enjoyed the session thoroughly. Life is a matter of making the right choice. I think you made the right choice at the right time.
Right.
So that is why you've been because I've been trying to, because I work in a corporate life, which I actually want to put a full stop and start traveling, which is my passion.
Right.
So again, unfortunately, I was trying to do it this year, but this year again, COVID has come. Probably I may try to stick for one more year, but definitely I'll put an end and start traveling.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of photography and bit on mountain photography also I've done. quite well. So probably I should do. But I really like the entire session, the way you're taken through, and it's thanks Vivek also that over the last 3-4 sessions have been really really good. So which was last time was at Tulika and then back to George, they're traveling and cycling. So that's fantastic, and thanks for arranging all the sessions. Very very lively. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Khub bhalo, Dada. Nice to hear you.
yeah. Thanks, Devanand Paul. We will maintain the same quality, and we are fortunate to have such great speakers. Next week also we are getting a published author, Mr. Amish Raj Mulshi. He has recently written a book, All Roads Lead North. So he is going to share his experiences, and like he is also an editor, so that will be an additional incentive for all of you to come. He is a consultant editor with a literary agency, and tomorrow for our Sunday session we will have an informal meeting tomorrow about editing courses, what all courses are available, and people who have taken these courses, we will hear their feedback also, try to find out what's available, what's missing, and how can we make things better. And Murugraj has posted a quotation. Maybe he can read it out. It just disappeared from my
That's
chat.
that's a quote from Downton Abbey, where Mr. Carson the butler says, "The business of life is acquisition of memories." In the end, that's all there is. It's nothing about being elder, older, everything. It's about the memories that we collect over a period of time. So I'm sure there will be a lot of memories that we would like to cherish when we are old, not really in the sense of age.
Yeah, and for that, maybe we need to travel.
Yes, I agree, Vivek. You need to climb the Everest to have those kind of
Travel is the best way to explore bias and prejudice. We can learn so much from travel. Of course.
And Sonali just posted in the chat box about a journal that they are coming out with. So I hope it will have articles about the interesting courses and other interesting things that she has been doing in the Himalayas. And we have heard from all the participants. Nikhil, you are the only one left.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Another, wonderful session. So I always think the next one, I'll attend from the mountains. I'll log on from the mountains. So pretty soon, I want to make that reality. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
again.
that would be great. Like the participants attending the session from the mountains, that will make it more practical, and we will be moving from theory to practice basically.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So thanks Nikhil, thanks Shahid, thanks Sonali, thanks all the participants and all the volunteers, and we will see you next week at 4 p.m. for the session with Amish Raj, and tomorrow at 11 a.m. for the session on editing courses. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, great. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Shahid. All the best to
Thank
you.
you, ma'am. Thank you. You, ma'am. You too, ma'am. Thank you.
Stay safe. Bye.
You all. Thank you.